games and the industry surrounding them aren't just about clear-cut, in-your-face experiences. Developers and publishers like to hide secrets deep within their games, and we as players love uncovering them. Sometimes we do it within days. Sometimes it takes years, while surely there are countless secrets to do with games that still haven't even been uncovered. From neat little Easter eggs to major hints about upcoming things, these secrets can point to a number of different things, but the thrill of cracking the code and uncovering what lies underneath is undeniable. In this feature, we'll be taking a look at a few such secrets that gamers managed to crack. Cyberpunk 2077's E3 2018 secret message. Cyberpunk 2077 was re-revealed by CD Projekt Red at last year's E3 with a trailer at Microsoft's press event. But the trailer was a significant one for multiple reasons. Within the trailer, CD Projekt hid a lengthy message, within which they discussed multiple things, from the development of the game, to whether or not it'll be DRM-free, to when they'll be speaking of a release date, to whether the game will have microtransactions, and more. Cyberpunk 2077's 2019 coded message. CD Projekt Red repeated the secret message in a trailer stunt again a year after Cyberpunk 2077's re-reveal, and it did so very recently in fact. After showing off a lengthy gameplay demo behind closed doors, they released videos for the game's collector's editions, one of which had yet another message explaining why the gameplay demo hadn't been shown to the public and when we can all expect to see it. Mortal Kombat's secret menus. Back before the age of the internet and rapid information dissemination, secrets would remain hidden within games for much longer than they do now, and one from the earlier Mortal Kombat titles, in fact, was uncovered only in 2016. These secrets were essentially entire hidden Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 consisting of hidden items, diagnostic tests, coin bookkeeping, character endings, and more. Xbox Scarlett RGB code. Here's another recent example, also from around E3 2019, a few days before it in fact. Microsoft had been sending out tweets hyping up their event at the show, but fans quickly discovered that the tweets were hinting at some major upcoming news. Hidden across various tweets were numbers, all of which together made up the RGB code for the color Scarlet, which of course was a very clever way of teasing their imminent Xbox Scarlett reveal. Metal Gear Solid 5. It's no secret that Hideo Kojima is a little cuckoo. You can't be a mad genius if you're not mad after all. But his meta antics and elaborate marketing ploys have entertained his fans and the industry at large for years, and he took things to the next level in the lead up to the announcement of Metal Gear Solid 5. Originally announced as the new IP called The Phantom Pain by a supposedly unknown Konami studio called Moby Dick Studio, fans very quickly discovered that in the game's trailer, when its name appeared, the negative space between the words The Phantom Pain pretty much spelled out Metal Gear Solid 5, and that, of course, is exactly what ended up happening. Mew. Fun fact, Game Freak never actually intended for Mew to be a Pokemon. Right at the end of the development of Pokemon Red and Blue, after the game had even been debugged, Game Freak programmer Shigeki Morimoto snuck Mew into the game secretly, intending it as a Pokemon that would be unobtainable by fans and could only be discovered by Game Freak staff as an inside joke. No one in the team even knew at the time that Mew was being put in. Of course, fans eventually managed to crack the code and discover Mew anyway, which led to Game Freak riding the hype around the mysterious Pokemon to induct it into the series officially. Breath of the Wild's Hylian runes. Across the entirety of Breath of the Wild's desolate Hyrule, you'll run across many things that display Hylian runes, from the towers to shrines to your slate and much more. Those runes actually mean something though. For instance, one particular set of runes harkens back to the very beginning of the series, and it translates to, "It's dangerous to go alone," the iconic quote immortalized in the very first Zelda game. Mexico in Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 has an absolutely gargantuan world and includes a huge chunk of the map we saw in the first game as well, but one area from RDR1 that isn't in 2 is Mexico, which is an important part of Marston's journey in the 2010 game. The southern part of New Austin and the river adjoining it are included in the game, however, and you can't really have an accurate representation of that if you can't see Mexico on the other side. However, while the locations from the first game that are properly in Red Dead Redemption 2 have been redone and remade entirely, Mexico isn't. It's only the ground mesh from the first game that has been ported over as is to save time and resources and to serve its basic purpose as background and stage dressing. Red Dead Redemption 2's Serial Killer. Rockstar loves putting in secret missions and hidden quest lines in its already massive games, and a lot of the times they end up being serial killer hunts. There's one of those in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, of course. Scattered throughout its map are grisly murder scenes, with messages scrawled in blood on the rocks next to them, egging the player on and leading them from clue to clue on a hunt for the killer. It's not a secret that isn't meant to be found, but it's a secret nonetheless, and following the trail it lays down is an exhilarating experience. GTA 5's cell phone explosions. Here's another example of amazing secrets tucked away by Rockstar into its games. The black cell phones in GTA 5 started out as an urban myth, but were quickly proven to be very real. Essentially, you dial a specific number on your phone in the game, and it'll trigger an explosion right above your character's head, believed to be an EMP blast. Why is it there? What does it do? Why doesn't it work in GTA Online? Well, we don't know, but at least we know it's real. Wasteland 2's Big Red Button. When Wasteland 2 launched, there was a particular area in the game with a machine that had a big red button on it, openly inviting players to press it. And press it we did. All of us in droves. When the button was pressed, the ground would shake, and nothing. Seemingly, at least. Countless discussions and theories were formulated about what the button could do. Eventually, fans managed to figure it out. It essentially opened up an area in the map which had another red button, and pressing that button would, well, as per a character in the game itself, quote, doom everyone. Long story short, InXile Entertainment were openly trolling all of us. Dead Space. The revelation that Nicole was dead all along in Dead Space has become one of the things most commonly associated with Visceral's excellent horror title. But something that's just as commonly known is the fact that the game literally spells it out for you. In the chapter selection screen of the menu, the first letters of every chapter spell Nicole is dead. Not the toughest code to crack, but an interesting one nonetheless. Duke Nukem 3D. Throughout several levels of Duke Nukem 3D, there were several small alcoves that players shouldn't ordinarily be able to go through, but of course they could. As it turned out though, the developers predicted this would happen and put in messages on the walls of these areas for the players, from "What are you doing here?" to "You're not supposed to be here," to "You're not supposed to be here either," to finally, "Are you small or are you cheating?" The self-aware humor of these messages was appreciated by one and all. Super Monkey Ball 2. Speaking of messages left in games by their developers, here's a very different, but very cool example of yet another developer doing so. Level 3 of the first world of Super Monkey Ball 2 had seemingly random dots scattered here and there, but if you flip the map, you'll see that it's actually a message written in Braille. Metal Gear Solid 3. And here's another excellent Metal Gear secret, one that fans of the series are very, very familiar with by now. Snake Eater was a game that was full of excellent boss fights. One such encounter was with the ancient sniper, The End. But rather than getting embroiled in an intense sniper fight with the man, players could also employ other techniques to beat him. For instance, one could change the internal clock of the system they were playing on, advance it by years, and hop back into the game to find that The End had died of old age. It's typical Kojima stuff, of course, but it's also brilliant. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.